Node Manager in WebLogic automatically restarts or starts manage servers based on several real-time scenarios, primarily to ensure what? High availability and recoverability of services. So, do we really need Node Manager?
Yes, it's required.
It's required. Okay, but I can start the service without Node Manager also. Start manage server. Um, enter. Oh, need is about it. Yeah. MS1.
But it will be stopped whenever you press Control C, right?
No, we are not talking about that. I am asking, do we really need Node Manager or not? Without Node Manager also, I am able to start the services, the managed server, and my application is deployed on this managed server, and it is open for access. So,
Yeah,
It
will
may
start
be required for
without node
the
manager
same like
also.
a WebSphere.
like what?
Like WebSphere, why we required node manager, node agent in order to communicate and the
Uh,
synchronization between the different nodes.
oh, that is WebSphere. Yeah, what you said is right, but in this perspective,
If all
in
of
let us
if
talk
all
about
if
WebLogic.
all of if all of sudden my server goes down, okay, to recover immediately, node manager is required to start automatically by setting all these properties.
Yeah. So the thing is, Node Manager is not required if you are working in a smaller environments. Node
This
Manager,
development mode.
Node Manager is useful when you are working in a bigger environment and you want to manage everything from a single point, like admin console or enterprise manager, right? So I have started the server and it is in running mode. It is unable to establish connection with admin server. I have not given it the property like this one, admin server URL, but it was trying to connect to admin server. So the answer is node manager. Yes, lot of interviews this question is asked. Uh, I had previously I had candidates with 8 or 10 years of experience, and they were not able to justify the answer. They asked me regarding I think it is Capgemini. They asked why node manager. I don't want node manager. Why you are talking about the node manager? So node manager, the answer is if you are working in highly available environment and you want to manage everything um, on the go, like from a single point, at the time node manager is very helpful, but it is not mandatory to configure the node manager. Alright? If there is no node manager, you will not start the services from the admin console. If everything is automated in your environments, you are working in the DevOps operations with the uh, already developed pipelines, and you will trigger the scripts directly. At the time, node manager may not be required. But yes, what about my machine suddenly has powered off and the infra team has again turned this machine on. and the client doesn't want manual intervention. At the time, Node Manager will help in starting the service. Now we will discuss about the real-time scenarios and the use cases. When the Node Manager tries to auto start manage services. Number one, server failure recovery. So a scenario, what is a scenario? A managed server crashed due to out of memory error or some unhandled exception. So what is the behavior? What happens? If auto start is true in the startup.properties file and the domain's restart max threshold is not exceeded, meaning restart max you have given 5, so it has not exceeded 5 times, then the node manager detects the abnormal shutdown activity because node manager continuously monitors the associated services, associated managed servers, and restarts the server automatically. So example, the prerequisite should be auto start to true, restart max you can mention how many times you want, and interval every 1 minute, try for 2 times, and if it does not start, leave it.
Sorry,
This is what it is. If the server crashes once, node manager restarts it. If it crashes twice within 60 seconds, it stops trying.
Hello.
Yes,
This auto restart equal to true is available under node manager properties file, correct?
no,
And rest to
no,
in
no. Startup.properties.
startup. In node manager properties, you show one false variable, right?
That
And
is
that needs to
crash
be
recovery.
enabled, right?
That is crash recovery.
Okay,
So
okay, got it.
in order to work this, you have to enable crash recovery. So this is what is this? This is crash. So that
So
crash,
for this, huh,
you are telling the node manager in its properties file, if there is a crash, then you follow the guidelines on startup.properties for this managed server. Clear?
so for this also we need to enable that the crash recovery is true, right?
This is node manager.properties.
Yeah. Here it
Whose
is showing
properties are
false.
this? Whose properties?
Node manager property, node manager,
So how many node managers are there in this machine?
only one.
Okay. How many startup.properties?
Two startup property for each manager, correct?
Yes. Yes. So in the node manager.properties, you are telling the node manager if there is any crash, then you load the startup.properties and you follow these parameters.
Okay.
Clear now?
In case of crash, in case of
Yes.
crash only, node manager will inform that the PMS1 to start this startup properties based on three parameters.
Based on whatever the parameters available in the
We have provided startup.
startup.properties. Yes. Yes. Okay. So now the second scenario. Server start requested from admin console or WLST or REST API. So we will see what is this REST API. So if you don't have access to admin console or WLST, there is one more method, REST APIs you can use. So fine. Scenario: an admin logs into WebLogic admin console and clicks on start for a managed server. So usually this is what we do, right? To start a managed server. Admin server sends a command to node manager. Node manager looks at the corresponding startup.properties and launches the server. This is on-demand start, not automatic, but it is initiated through node manager. So earlier we have discussed, whenever you send a command from admin console to a managed server to start, the admin server will communicate with node manager, and the node manager will load this startup.properties file, and it will start the managed server. So this is a normal scenario. Now, machine crash and reboot. Auto start on system boot. If the physical machine or a virtual machine or a cloud instance uh, which is hosting WebLogic services is rebooted due to crash or planned maintenance. Okay, even if it is a planned maintenance, what the clients or the infra team may do, they will directly will not stop the services. The services will be running on the VM. They will directly power it off. In these kinds of situations, what will be the behavior of the node manager? So you will configure the node manager as a system service, system D. Okay. What happens when you configure the node manager as a system service? Whenever the server is rebooted or booted, then by default the node manager service will start. You don't have to give /start node manager.sh. So in defining this node manager as a system service, daemon service. So we are talking about defining the service as a daemon service or a Linux service. So when the OS reboots, node manager automatically starts. If configured via node manager.properties, what crash recovery enabled is equal to true. Once the node manager service is started automatically on reboot, then node manager checks the server's node manager directory for startup.properties, and if the server status was running before the crash, node manager will auto restart it. This is one scenario. Machine was crashed and rebooted. Okay, machine was crashed and rebooted without stopping the managed servers running on it. So usually when you want to power off this machine, what is the process? You need to stop all the services, then power off, right? But unfortunately, there are some uh, issues occurred that resulted in machine crash. So before the crash, the machine crash, what was the state of your managed server? Was it running or not? If the machine was running before the crash, then the node manager will auto restart. If the server status was stopped before the crash, node manager will not start it. Why? Because you have manually, you wanted it to be stopped. Then node manager will not restart. So for this, the crash recovery should be enabled, right? So this is useful in HA scenarios where servers must auto recover after host failure.
If it is false, then we need to start manually, correct?
Yes.
Crash recovery is enabled is false.
Yes. So where is this scenario useful? In high availability architectures where servers must auto recover after a crash or host failure. In these types of scenarios, you can configure crash recovery enabled is equal to true, and you can also define the node manager as a system service. So what is this system service? It is, it may be on Windows or Linux. Windows service or Linux service. Yes, Mangla, you know that when you create a profile, in the last page, it will prompt you whether to start this as a Linux service or not. Correct?
Through GUI, you are saying?
Yes, yes. PMT.
I didn't create through PMT.
Okay, fine. Yeah, through manage profiles.sh also you can define whether to start
Okay.
the service as a Linux service or not. So
Okay.
in usually for any, okay, let me add, you need to learn one important configuration. If you have very good experience, you need to know about system D. What is system D? uh, if you want to create a Linux service and want to start this service by default on boot server, boot or reboot, you can configure system D service. So very helpful in high available environments where the system must auto recover, right? Where the system must auto recover the services. So you can do this for Tomcat, for um, IHS, OHS, Apache, Google, WebLogic, Jboss, as everything, different types of services. You can use System D. Just find out what is System D and how it works. This good exercise for you. And
Okay.
yes, we need to know this one, very important uh, for these kinds of scenarios. All right. So yeah, crash recovery after unexpected host shutdown scenario. The host system was abruptly shut down or power failure, example, and comes back online. And what is the behavior?